Greetings, geeks and geekerellas. It is me, I am back. Hopefully. YouTube's currently down right now as of recording this. And everyone's talking about it on Reddit, Twitter. So it's not just me and my buddy. So I don't know if you'll get this a day late or what. But I wanted to go ahead and record this anyway, so hopefully you'll see this and it won't be too late. This is talking about Black Lightning. The second episode back, called Book of Consequences Part 2. Black Jesus Blues. Which I'm not even touching that with one. But anyway, I really like this episode, but in order to talk about it, I need to get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Tell me what you think. Come back and tell me what you think in the comments down below. Alright, let's get into this. This was really cool. But it's going to be a little bit hard to explain. So the main plot of the episode, I guess you could say, is the fact that at the ASA, where the pod kids are, one, his pod messes up and he wakes up, but due to his meta powers, he ends up accidentally killing a scientist and then killing himself. But also, in the process, he ends up waking up another pod person. A girl, who we later find out her name is Wendy Vasquez, which I don't think that's a comic book character, but I could be totally wrong. And so, we find out that she has aerokinesis. And no, not move arrows with her mind. She can move air. Which, that's a pretty big, powerful power. Especially if you know how to use it. But see, the thing is with Wendy, is Wendy's one of the people that Gamby caught back in the day. So she's been out of it for 30 years. 30 years in a pod, and so she's starting to freak out. Plus, apparently she's got like some pod psychosis and stuff and hallucinating. Sorry, there's something in my eye. And so she goes off and runs away, and they have a hard time finding her. But at the end of the day, Jeff and Anissa finally suit up after not suiting up all last episode. And they go save some people that were accidental destruction of her powers, people in cars and stuff. Sorry, there's really something in my eye. Allergies, I guess. But anyway, so they saved the day, but Anissa's kind of grandstanding a little bit. She's even doing the whole, which I don't think is a bad thing, but it's really pissing off Jeff. So when Gamby finds out where the girl is, Jeff goes alone, and he doesn't tell Anissa. And then he takes her in, but he has to zap her, and when he does, it wakes her out of her psychosis. But at the end of the day, he got her back to Lynn, and she voluntarily got back in a pod. because we found out that not only does she have a big power, which is something to deal with, but also minus Jeff, Anissa, and Jen, these Greenlight metas, which they do call them metas, officially, they've got a little thing wrong with them. And we find that out through through a subplot about Issa. I believe that's his name. Issa? He was the dude who did the whole truth thing last time. And we find out that yes, indeed, his powers are truth. The ASA found him and tasked Lynn with looking over him, so Lynn's like, okay, bet, I'll take him home with me for the night. And when she does, he ends up making them tell the truth at the dinner table, like Jennifer to her parents and all of that, and her parents back to her. But then Jen actually has a one-on-one with Issa, and things seem cool between the two of them. Unfortunately, Lynn does some testing, and we find out the Greenlight metas are highly destructive, like we feared, and like they talked about last season, if you remember. So he's slowly dying. And if Wendy was to stay out of the pod, she'd slowly die too. But Issa has family and doesn't want to go into a pod when he's never been in a pod. So he elects to just live out his days with his family, try to control his powers, not look people in the eye, unless he really wants to know the truth. And also hope that Lynn comes up with a cure. Then we jump to another subplot, about Jen. Because Jen and Anissa have a conversation about their powers, the positives and negatives. Apparently one of the positives is that they don't have cramps anymore. Which I'm not going to say anything else about that, considering that I am a male. But, yeah. They also talk about their parents getting back together, and if they are not, they also talk about how the fact that they murdered their parents, which you know what I mean. But anyway, so, and they also talk about how relationships are hard, which hints after a later scene that maybe her and Kaleel aren't over yet. Because Kaleel actually has a story of his own, because for those that don't know, the actor was announced to be a series regular this season. And so his stuff for the episode opens up where he's playing chess with Tobias Whale. And Kaleel's actually winning. Meanwhile, they're talking about it, and Tobias blames Kaleel for cyanide's killing by Vice Principal Chick. So between that and pissed off of losing, Tobias punches him. Well, first he slaps him, then he punches him, and he cheats in the chess game, and he's like, checkmate. You gotta look out for the unexpected. That's when he punches him. So he's a little fearful for his life. But he still likes Jen, so he goes and visits her. And there's clearly a spark between them, but she's a smart girl, so she's like, leave or I'll call the cops. So that was their story, which was pretty cool. Anissa had her own little subplot because after her little talk with Jen, she decided to go to a club. She ends up like instantly having chemistry with this musician chick, and they instantly have chemistry, and they like sleep together that night, and musician lady is really into her, like wants her to spend the night more than once, which I don't blame her considering we get to see Anissa and this new girl in bikinis. But I'm also not going to touch that because if this does end up going on YouTube, YouTube's whole thing, I don't want to be flagged. But anyway, so things seem to be going good there until an interesting person shows up. Now, I didn't see this for myself. I was a little distracted with something else. But my friend, Mr. J, who watches this with me, like where we talk on Facebook while watching, he told me that Grace shows up. Grace Choi shows up as a waitress at the club. So that's a little awkward, but also yay, Grace is back, because I love those two. And I love them together. So that'll be cool to see. And then the last subplot to just briefly mention is Jeff. Jeff's having a hard time with the fact that he's going to be replaced. I mean, he was okay with it, but then he found out the school board wants to put a white person in. And that kind of pisses him off. So, and that the school board wants his full endorsement. But at the end of the day, he does go to like a parent meeting and give his endorsement there. And then he does this meeting at the end in front of the kids where it's very emotional, a lot of feels, where he talks about how he still loves the kids, but he messed up, so he needs to step down. And he's still going to be there, but as a teacher, not as a principal, and to please support the principal. And he gets really sad and all. And then one of the kids starts saying his mantra, and then all of them say it to him. And it just really hits you in the feels, and it's like, aww. But anyway, I really like this episode. I've been going on for too long now. Thank you guys for watching. If this does indeed go up, hopefully it's not too late, and hopefully next time you'll see me will be for Riverdale. I believe I've just got the finale of last season and the premiere of this season to catch up, and then I'll start reviewing. But anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, and beyond.